Hey everybody, Prepper for the Ages coming at you from my secret location. How you doing today? I'm just puttering around the house. Okay, I'm doing more than puttering, I'm doing my chores. Thinking about inflation, because inflation has certainly hit us here in the United States. And not only in the United States, it's hit us all over the world. Well, I have been thinking that it is quite a development from the good old days of Lehman Brothers in 2008. As you all know, Lehman Brothers went down and took the economy with it, and that was not a good ride. And not just not just the stock market, the whole economy. And everybody's been building back. I don't know if it's better or not, but we've been trying to claw up out of the abyss. But by sitting there, and I'm thinking, well, way back when. Um, there were just a set of companies, just a few companies that were deemed too big to fail, too big to fail. And I'm like, okay, well, there's companies too big to fail, but if they had failed, there were a dozen companies ready to tooth and claw take their place, like on each company, tooth and claw take the place. So, define too big to fail. I'm thinking more along the lines of you didn't let them fail and let the stronger, younger companies take over and take that space. Well, fast forward to today, and today is November 13th, 2021, and it certainly seems that with all the money being injected into the economy since 2008, and they're injecting money right and left, up and down, it is called quantitative easing, which is a good way to debase the American dollar. And I'm not going to just say it's the Americans. There are plenty of other countries that have taken their monetary system and signed into being more money, just signed into existence more money. So, but lately, in the past few years, we have really ramped up the quantitative easing. There's quantitative easing, quantitative QE2, quantitative easing 2. And there certainly has not been a slowdown. And the only reason I can figure out why is because they want the stock market to keep going. They don't want it to falter. They don't want it to go down. They don't want bad things to happen to the economy. And by the way, the stock market is not the economy, contrary to the rich people's belief. It is not the economy. Stock market is one piece of the economy. So I have this thing going around in my head that it's gone from just a few companies that are too big to fail to the stock market is too big to fail. Stock market, well, yeah, we can't have the stock market go down. We can't have the stockholders be nervous and sell. But there's also been a general thing for years now that the stock market is extremely overpriced and it's going nowhere but north. And what if they have said, oh, the stock market is too big to fail, and that's why we have a K recovery? Well, we had the Lehman Brothers down, Lehman Brothers 2008 crash, and the stocks went down, and there was hardship on Main Street and Wall Street, and Main Street has not recovered, and if anything, it has been going downhill, as people have detected in their everyday life, and the stock market has just shot through the roof. And people who own a ton of stocks, millions and millions of dollars worth of stocks, are just saying, what recession? There isn't a recession. Everything's great. Everything's wonderful. And every time they discuss the possibility of easing the quantitative easing, taking their foot off the gas of making or signing money into existence, the stock market they panic and they start to go down. Well, there's a whole bunch of companies that cannot exist without the injection of money. So that is one of the big things, the banks turn around and lend it to the businesses. And that's why we have all this K-shaped recovery, because they're not only injecting money into the stock market that's feeding banks and businesses that are on the stock market. When they have companies like that, it just sucks all of the money out of Main Street. So they're sucking money out of Main Street to feed Wall Street, to help Wall Street. And it's just that right now it's a downward spiral. And I think that's what people are encountering at this point in life, is the Main Streeters' downward spiral into just chaos, because once you get big businesses and they're flush with cash, and they go and they do the lobbying bit, where that's basically where Congress critters make money mysteriously. And surprise, surprise, more rules or legislature gets written by business people, by companies that favor them, and basically are the laws are to the detriment of Main Street. And that's my theory today. But I keep thinking about it, and I keep on, instead of being my own devil's advocate, I'm doing the devil's advocate. Okay, well, why is this wrong? Why is this not a theory? Why is this theory wrong? And there's not really, I'm not shooting it down in my brain. So there's something for you to think about. But yeah, I do think that that Wall Street is now preying on Main Street, and the government has been bought out. The people, not the government, the people in government are too addicted to the cash that they're getting from the lobbyists and from big businesses and everybody at Bilderberg and whatnot, and it's kind of like they don't care anymore that Main Street is going down. And forget suffering, forget being inconvenienced, and they don't. I don't know if they don't understand. I think they understand a lot. I think they don't want to acknowledge that they understand, because then they have to do something about it. Then they have to change their ways, and that's something that they really don't want to do at this point. But that's my thoughts at this point. I don't know if it makes sense to you, not make sense to you. Leave a comment in the comments, and we'll try to get through this together, make sense of it all, and get through this stuff together. Because I think together, I always have the philosophy is together is better, and there's a lot of forces in the world that are trying to separate us and make us not work together. Because if you have a united front, then people, it's harder to knock you down when you have a united front. Okay, there's my ramblings. Okay, Prepper for the Ages signing out for now.